Welcome, dear traveler, to Ancient Echoes. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Whatever has filled your day, whether joy or sorrow, labor or rest, you can let it all go now. This is a place of peace, a sanctuary woven from ancient stone and sacred memory. Tonight, we walk together through the gentle light of dawn in the holiest of cities, where heaven once touched earth, where prophets dreamed, and where the very presence of God has dwelt. So settle yourself now, deeply into your bed. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress beneath you. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Uncurl your fingers. Release the tension you've been carrying in your jaw, your neck, your back. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and let it drift out through your mouth like a sigh of relief. Good. Tonight, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to solve anything or remember anything. You are here simply to rest, to listen, and to be carried gently into sleep on the wings of an ancient story. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Imagine that you are standing on the slope of the Mount of Olives, just as the first pale light of dawn begins to touch the eastern sky. The air is cool and soft against your skin, not cold, but refreshing, like a blessing. There is a stillness here that feels older than time itself, the kind of stillness that existed before the first words were spoken, before the first footsteps marked the dust, before you, stretching out across the Kidron Valley, rises the eastern wall of Jerusalem. Even in this dim, pre-dawn light, you can see the golden limestone glowing faintly, as if the stones themselves remember the sunrise and are already preparing to greet it once more. And there, set into that ancient wall like a sealed promise, is the Eastern Gate, the Golden Gate, closed now for centuries, waiting in silence. The city is still sleeping. A few oil lamps flicker in distant windows. Somewhere far below, a dove calls softly to the coming day. The olive trees around you whisper in a breeze so gentle you almost don't feel it, only hear it, a quiet rustling, like the turning of pages in a very old book. You are standing where prophets stood, where Jesus himself stood and wept over the city he loved, where, according to ancient tradition, the glory of the Lord will one day return, entering through that sealed gate in a moment of restoration so beautiful that all creation will pause to witness it. But we are not in a hurry tonight. No, tonight we have all the time in the world. Tonight we will walk slowly down into the valley, across the ancient stones, and stand before that gate. We will listen to its stories. We will remember its prophecies, and we will let its peace settle over us like a blanket woven from starlight and promise. So breathe deeply once more. Let your mind become quiet and soft, and let us begin our descent together down into the Kidron Valley toward the Golden Gate of Jerusalem, glowing in the gentle light of dawn. You begin to walk now, slowly, your feet finding a narrow path that winds down the western slope of the Mount of Olives. The path is ancient, worn smooth by millennia of pilgrims, priests, and prophets who came this way before you. Beneath your feet, the stone is cool and solid, still holding the memory of yesterday's warmth, but not yet touched by today's sun. With each step you take, you descend a little deeper into the valley. The air grows slightly cooler here, pooling in the low places like water, fresh and clear. You can smell the earth, dry and dusty, yes, but also alive with the scent of wild herbs growing in the crevices between the stones. Hyssop, thyme, rosemary, plants that have clung to this land since the days of David, their roots reaching deep, deeper than any empire, deeper than any war. The path curves gently, following the natural contour of the hillside. And as you walk, the city wall grows larger before you, rising up like the edge of eternity. You are not rushing. There is no need to hurry. Each step is a meditation. Each breath is a prayer you don't even need to speak aloud. Above you, the sky is beginning to change. The deep indigo of night is softening now into shades of violet and pale rose. The stars are fading, one by one, like oil lamps being gently extinguished. Soon, very soon, the sun will rise behind you, and the whole valley will flood with golden light. But for now, you walk in the quiet in-between time, the sacred threshold between darkness and dawn. A slight breeze moves through the valley, carrying with it the distant sound of a shepherd's flute. The melody is simple and slow,
Just a few notes repeated over and over, rising and falling like a breath. You can't see the shepherd. He must be somewhere on the far hillside, tending his flock in the early morning cool. But his music drifts across the stones like a greeting, like a reminder that life continues here as it always has, in rhythms unchanged for thousands of years. You pass a cluster of olive trees, their trunks thick and gnarled, their branches reaching out like the arms of old friends. Some of these trees, or their ancestors, were here when Jesus prayed in Gethsemane. They have witnessed everything: triumph and tragedy, conquest and exile, destruction and rebuilding. And yet they remain patient and steady, offering their shade and their fruit year after year, generation after generation.
Before we stand at the gate itself, let us turn aside for a moment into the shade of the ancient trees. Here, at the foot of the mountain, lies the Garden Gethsemane. The name means the oil press, and in the silver light of this pre-dawn hour, the garden feels like a place outside of time. Walk slowly now through the tall, soft grass. It is damp with dew, cool against your ankles. Around you, the olive trees rise up like ancient sentinels. Their trunks are thick, gnarled, twisted into beautiful silver-gray shapes by the passage of centuries. Some of these trees have been here for 2,000 years. They were young when the world was changing. They have seen the rise and fall of kings, and they have remained. Reach out your hand. Touch the bark of a tree that has stood since the time of the apostles. It feels like weathered stone, deeply grooved, rugged and strong. Close your eyes in the dream and feel that strength. The tree is not hurried. It does not worry about the seasons. It simply is. Deep roots reaching down into the holy soil, silver leaves reaching up toward the fading stars. The air here in the grove is different. It is heavy with the scent of earth and wood and ancient peace. The leaves above you rustle with a sound like a soft sigh, a sound that says, rest, a sound that says, be still. In this garden, Jesus prayed. In this garden, he surrendered his will to the Father's love. And in this garden, you are invited to surrender your burdens to let them fall away into the shadows of the olive trees. The garden can hold them. the earth can carry them. You are just a traveler passing through the quiet. Breathe in the scent of the silver leaves. Breathe out the noise of the world. We are almost at the gate now, but here in the garden, we have found the peace that makes the gate worth finding.
The path grows steeper now as you near the valley floor. You place your hand against the rough bark of an olive tree to steady yourself. The wood is warm beneath your palm, almost alive. You pause here for a moment, breathing slowly, feeling the ancient strength of this place seeping into your bones. Far above, a bird begins to sing. Just one bird at first, tentative and soft, testing the morning. Then another joins in, and another, until the air is filled with a gentle chorus of praise. It is the same song they sang when Solomon built the temple, the same song they sang when Nehemiah rebuilt the walls, the same song they will sing tomorrow and 1,000 years from now. You reach the floor of the Kidron Valley, where the earth is packed hard and smooth by countless feet. The air is still and cool, almost like stepping into a quiet room. The valley feels vast, like a threshold between worlds. And there, directly before you, is the Eastern Gate. Even in this dim light, it is magnificent, set into the wall like a jewel in a crown, with two great arches rising side by side, speaking of strength, beauty, and permanence. But the arches are filled in now, sealed with stone, as if the gate is holding its breath, waiting.
You walk toward it slowly, your footsteps soft against the ground. There is no sound now, except the faint rustle of the breeze. The world feels hushed, expectant. As you draw closer, you see the details. The stones are pale gold. You can see the seams where the masons sealed the gate centuries ago. You can see the scars left by time, tiny chips and cracks. This gate has seen empires rise and fall. It has stood silent through invasion and siege. And through it all, it has waited. You reach the wall now. Place your hand gently against the stone. It is cool to the touch. Smooth in some places, rough in others. Beneath your palm, you can almost feel the heartbeat of history. Slow and steady and eternal. Think of the hands that have touched these very stones, the masons of old who swung their hammers in the rhythm of creation, the scribes who looked at this wall and saw not just a barrier, but a page in a story God was writing. For 500 years, this gate has been sealed,
500 years of sunrises, 500 years of moonlight. It has stood through the cold winter rains and the heat of the summer sun. Imagine the silence of those 5 centuries. The gate has heard the call to prayer, the ringing of bells, the whispers of pilgrims. It has seen empires arrive with trumpets and leave in silence. And yet it does not change. It waits, safe, solid, secure. Let that same security settle into your heart tonight. You are standing before a promise that time cannot break. Let us rest here now, sitting in the quiet shadow of this ancient wall, this gate, the golden gate, the gate of mercy. It was never meant for daily traffic. It was the gate of glory, the gate of the divine presence. In the days of Solomon, it faced directly toward the Holy of Holies. Through this gate, the Shekinah, the visible presence of God, would enter the temple, filling the sacred space with light, too bright for human eyes to bear. Listen to this silence. It isn't empty, it is full, full of the echoes of a million prayers, full of the sighs of the weary who have come to this wall to find hope. Can you feel the stillness seeping into your own spirit, like the dew settling on the grass of the Kidron? You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to be anyone else. You are here with the stones, with the promise. Let the cool air of the valley soothe your mind. Every thought that was loud today is quiet now. Every worry that felt heavy is light. Imagine the stones of the gate absorbing your stress. They have held the weight of the world for centuries. They can hold yours too. Just breathe in and out, in and out. Take a deep breath now and imagine the watchers of this city. Through the ages, men and women have sat exactly where you are sitting, waiting for the morning. They watch the stars fade over the Mount of Olives, just as you are doing now. They felt the same cool breeze, the same scent of hyssop and dust. In the quiet, they prayed the same prayers for peace, for restoration, for a home that lasts. There is a profound comfort in knowing you are part of this long line of watchers. You are not alone in your waiting. You are not alone in your hope. The valley floor is a place of deep rest. The air here is still. It is a pocket of peace
tucked away from the noise of the modern world. Let the watcher's peace wash over you. The peace that knows that even when a gate is sealed, God is still at work. Even in the dark, the dawn is coming. You don't need to hurry the sun. You only need to be here, to breathe and to rest. Can you imagine it? The priests standing at a distance, their faces covered, as the glory of the Lord descended like a cloud, like fire. The ground trembling slightly, the air shimmering with heat and light. This was no ordinary gate. But time moves forward. Empires rise and fall like the tide. In 586 BC, the Babylonians came. The temple was burned. The people carried into exile. The eastern gate was destroyed. The glory departed. But God's promises do not crumble like walls of stone. In the days of Nehemiah, the people returned with hearts full of hope. You can almost see him, can't you? Walking around the walls in the night, examining every broken stone by the light of a flickering torch. The eastern gate was rebuilt, restored to its place. But it was never quite the same. The ark was gone. The visible glory did not return. Not yet. The prophets felt it like an ache in their bones. And yet, they spoke of a day when the glory would return, more magnificent than ever before.
The centuries rolled on. Then, one day, something extraordinary happened. A young rabbi from Nazareth, riding on a donkey, descended the Mount of Olives. The crowds went wild, waving palm branches, shouting, "Hosanna." They understood that something prophetic was unfolding. The Messiah was approaching from the east, from the direction of the rising sun. Just a few days later, that same Jesus would be crucified. Within a generation, the Romans would destroy it all. The Eastern Gate was lost once more. But Jerusalem has been rebuilt many times. In the year 1541, Sultan Suleiman ordered the gate be sealed, filled in with stone, blocking the entrance completely. Nearly 500 years have passed. The stones have not been moved. The gate sits in silence, waiting. It is more than stone and mortar. It is a question asked in architecture. When will restoration come? When will heaven touch earth again? The gate remains, silent and patient, its stones glowing gold in the light of every sunrise, as if to say, the promise stands, the hope endures, the glory will return.
Settle yourself more deeply now. Let your body sink further into rest. We are entering the quiet heart of the story, where the voice of prophecy speaks across the centuries, like a bell ringing in a distant valley. The prophet Ezekiel was among the exiles, far from Jerusalem, far from everything he had known and loved. He had seen the glory of the Lord depart, moving out through the eastern gate, pausing over the Mount of Olives, and disappearing into the distance. It must have broken his heart, but God is in the business of restoration. Years later, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Ezekiel again. He was shown a new temple, holy in its design, glorious beyond description. And they came to the eastern gate. This gate is to remain shut, the Lord said. It must not be opened, because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered through it. The gate is sealed, not as a barrier, but as a memorial, not to keep God out, but to mark the place where God came in. Ezekiel saw the glory returning from the east, the sound like the roar of rushing waters, the earth shining with his glory. What God begins, he completes. Exile is never the end of the story.
This vision is about the human heart, so often closed, so often sealed by fear or sorrow, and yet God approaches that sealed gate with gentleness, saying, I will return, I will fill you again. In the book of Revelation, John saw the new Jerusalem descending from heaven, radiant as a bride. And the city has gates, 12 of them, standing open. The eastern gate among them, no longer sealed, but open wide, because the glory of God illuminates everything. There is no more need for walls, no more need for fear. Can you see it? The city gleaming like crystal, the river of life flowing, the gates standing open, always open, because night never falls in that city. This is the promise. One day, the gate will open. One day, the King will return. What was mourning will become dancing. What was sealed in sorrow will burst open with joy. Until that day, we wait. But we wait with hope. A hope that does not disappoint. And now, beloved, let us bring our journey to a close. Breathe slowly with me, in and out. in and out. Feel the weight of your body sinking. You are held. You are safe. You are loved. Lord of heaven and earth, keeper of the gates, we thank you for this sacred space. We thank you for the Eastern Gate, reminding us that you keep your word. As we prepare to sleep, we ask that you would open the gates of our hearts. Come in, Lord. Dwell with us. Fill us with your peace. We release into your hands all that we have carried today. Every worry, every burden, we lay them down at the foot of the sealed gate. Breathe in the peace of God. Breathe out everything else. In peace. Out. Release. The gates of heaven are open. The city of God is coming down, and we are welcomed home. Rest in the light. Rest in the peace. Rest in the love. Rest in the arms of the one who never sleeps. All is well. All shall be well. Sleep now, beloved. Sleep in the peace of the open gates. Sleep.